All right, folks, you were just listening to MGMT with Electric Feel Justice Remix.
All right. Not too bad, my friend. And basically, I want to say thank you very much for joining us on the Weekly Trending Fam Show, the broadcast here at CKMS Sound FM, 100.3 the FM dial, every Tuesday, 12 till 2, here and only at CKMS. With that being said, my friends, we just finished talking about comic books. We talked about gaming. With that being said, let's move into our actual movie segment. Yay! Movie stuff. And with that being said, my friends, the very first thing that's basically celebrating what took place over the weekend, which was the Halloween-y stuff, is Pet Sematary seems to be coming back from the dead, no pun intended, of course, with a new remake. Basically, an individual known as Jean Cruche will actually be taking care of the directing tutorials from this particular production. And at the same time here, all those people who are familiar with Pet Sematary, it's based off of the Stephen King franchise known as Pet Sematary. And of course, Stephen King is more like Stephen King versus Stephen, but however you pronounce it, it's Stephen. So with that being said, the actual franchise itself has spawned not one but two movies, and it came in at a budget of $75 million. So not too bad overall for only $11 million budget movie. So that's both of them put together. See, back in the day, they didn't spend a lot of money on movies because they were focused on a thing called plot development and script and stuff like that. So it's big CGI stuff not needed. Lots of stuff not needed. So again, for two movies, it only cost $11 million. Again, about $75 million. Not a bad chunk of change. So hopefully with this new reboot that's coming out, hopefully they could go back to that particular fine days from the 90s when movies made money on a very low budget. And on top of all that, there's this the status of the project is still in development, and no release date has been released for this yet. But however, folks, stay tuned, and we'll definitely talk more about this project as time continues on. So it would not be a Weekly Trending Fandom Show if we didn't talk about Star Wars or Star Trek.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So basically, more Star Trek 3 news. Basically taking over the J.J. Abrams directorial project. Yep. But however, from all of this, there's no contract being signed for a lifetime guarantee yet. So everything is just pure speculation. But however, what people are talking about online is that people are looking forward towards the non-Flens layers that take place for all the J.J. Abrams productions. Which is always kind of cool. So the thing is that with this, we'll keep you, in tune of what's taking place. And the thing is, again, these are all maybe, so next week it might be somebody else. But however, we're here first talking about the Weekly Trending Fandom Show. Yep. And with that being said, you're familiar with an actress named Drew Barrymore by chance?
Drew Barrymore, yes. Yep. I'm quite familiar with her.
Perfect. I'm not. No, I'm kidding. But however, she was a
fire starter. Twisted fire starter.
Got it. But however, moving forward with this, she's got a bun in the oven. It's really weird. She doesn't have one but two kids. She's already had to give birth to one. Another one's coming through, and it's really weird because with Drew Barrymore, we know her, as I said before, through Firestarter, E.T., and other stuff like that. And basically, she was a child actress that's gone through all the crap and seemed to rise above, everyone. And basically, she's up there in the accolades. And I would put her on the A-list of people to be in Hollywood these days because of all the successful franchises she had, especially with Charlie's Angels, and other movies like that as well. And of course, her brief marriage to the one, the only. What's his name? Jim Carrey? Yeah, that's his name.
What? Yeah, Jim Carrey,
Like they were married and they broke up, which is too bad. But however, bottom line is that she seems to be happy with her current life partner, and they're expecting another baby sometime shortly. So however, the thing is, at the same time, remember, Miss Barrymore is only 38 years old. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, and here we are at the Weekly Trending Fandom Show, and there she is, delivering babies in Hollywood.
Hey, got to carry on the Barrymore lineage there.
Oh, pretty much for what it is. Because through all of this, Barry's mom was a bit of an alcoholic, pill pusher, if you know what I mean, and she became an alcoholic too. So hopefully, the new generation would stay away from that and focus more on the actual artistic craft of things, if you know what I mean. Whatever, we'll wish you all the best, and hopefully she doesn't die through childbirth, because heaven forbid, she'll be on The Walking Dead. Won't be too good. But however, that's what I kind of got movie stuff. Anything in your end 2.0?
Oh, what do we have? We've got I'm sorry.
Okay.
I saw a movie trailer for the Lego movie, and
What'd you think of that?
That is going to be unbelievably good.
For sure. We'll basically try to cue it up through our break if we can. But however, one of the few things to talk about movie trailers that actually dropped just today, believe it or not, is the Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings
with who's that guy? Peter Jackson, dude. I call him the man that lost like 100. He lost a hobbit through shooting his actual hobbit in weight. That is through the actual Lord of the Rings, and he's coming back with something called the Hobbit. Well, that guy.
Really? He's coming back into the Hobbit. Come on. He first he shows up in Star Wars with a purple lightsaber because I don't want a blue one or red one or a yellow one.
Are you talking Samuel Jackson?
Yeah.
I'm talking about Peter Jackson.
Oh, okay, Peter. Well. You started off this conversation with Samuel Jackson.
The mad cow syndrome has spread.
You started with Samuel Jackson, and then you switched over.
No, I said Peter Jackson.
You said Samuel.
We have it live.
Whatever.
Exactly. So anyways, Peter Jackson's coming back with The Hobbit, and the actual trailer just dropped today. So with all the fun taking place, we'll play the Hobbit trailer for you here live in CKMS Sound FM on the weekly trending fan show that's always trending here in CKMS Sound FM every Tuesday 12 to 2. So that being said, let's play the trailer, and we'll talk more about it when we're done playing it. How's that sound?
All right.
Perfect.
The Lord of Silver Fountains. The King of Carven Stone. The King beneath the mountain shall come into his own. And the bell shall ring in gladness at the mountain king's return. But all shall fail in sadness, and the lake will shine and burn. You have no right. No right to enter that mountain.
I have the only right.
What is this place?
The desolation of Smaug.
Destroy the dragon. Take back your homeland.
The dwarf will never be king. Our time has come again.
It is not our fight.
Are we not part of this world?
You seek that which would bestow upon you the right to rule. The Arkenstone.
What's that? That, Master Burglar, is why you are here. We are in grave danger.
The world is in grave danger. I fear for you.
If this is to end in fire, then we will all burn together.
You can't give up now!
It never ceases to amaze me. The courage of hobbits.
I am king under the mountain.
Well, that was something.
Not too bad, eh?
No, not at all.
So what do you think of the pretty elf? Ain't she pretty?
That's a very pretty elf lady. There's only one downside.
What's the downside to that?
The downside to that is if movie theory tells me anything, without even having read the books, she doesn't show up in the later movies, so I got a bad feeling that she gonna die.
She's gonna die real bad.
She gonna die.
It ain't gonna be a pretty death, but however, hopefully we can save her mouth, if you know what I mean. or maybe she might be in Duck Dynasty, perhaps.
Oh.
But anyways, my friends, that's the trailer for The Hobbit Part 2. And of course, one of the few things I've explored through my own Facebook shenanigans is that there's some people out there going, I don't like this second edition of The Hobbit. And I'm going, why? Why don't you like it? And they say, well, because this whole thing can be done within one movie versus 3. And I'm going, hey, it's storytelling from Peter Jackson. Plus, on top of it, he's actually breaking some actual new ground with this. He's shooting, I believe, 42 frames per second versus 24 frames, or was it 23 frames? I can't remember. But the thing is that they increased the actual film rate to the point that they can't put the special effects on top of it because they look cheap. So what we got going on here is we got high definition film rate that's being absolutely fantastic, but however the thing is that it's so fine, it's actually making the rest of the stuff look like crap. So it's kind of interesting what Peter Jackson is doing with his own production. And on top of that, it's storytelling, folks. Like, come on here. The thing is that I thought the first Hobbit was pretty cool. Liked it a lot. I'm looking forward to watching the second Hobbit. Plus, on top of that, I saw the first Hobbit at a local independent movie theater called the Frederick Twin Cinema, located on Frederick Street in the Frederick Street Mall. And I had a good time seeing it. So the thing is that regardless of what people say about this particular film, this was got fantastic special effects. You got the Hobbit, you got the medieval ages stuff going on, you got dragons. Like, what else could you possibly want from an actual fantasy film, folks? I believe this has it all, plus additional story to add on sometime down the road, possibly 2-3 years from now type of thing. And it'd be interesting if Peter Jackson actually does a follow-up from this movie, because you got Lord of the Rings, and now you got The Hobbit. Be interesting. Actually, there's 3 more films about what happens after Boggins and his little adventures through Lord of the Rings. Should be very interesting.
I think he's going to it, because they didn't they officially say that the Hobbit they would drag it out to 3 movies.
Well, yeah, they're going to drag the Hobbit out to 3 movies, but the thing is, at the same time, follow up to Lord of the Rings.
Are they going to fill the gap between? The gap between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, or are they going to?
Well, the thing is that The Hobbit, and basically The Hobbit is the prequel for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And the thing is that there was another series of books that happened after Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
But that was kind of bad. So it should be interesting if Peter Jackson touches on it, because right now the thing is there's not a lot of fantasy films out there, and this definitely fills the gap for those actual fantasy films, if you know what I mean.
Very much so.
Yeah. So that being said, let's get into the top 5 movies that did well over the weekend.
Top 5.
Top 5. Woo! And number 5, falling from number 2 at record speed, is the movie I hate called Gravity, with Sandra Bullock and so forth and so forth. And thank goodness this movie is slowly moving off of my top 5. And that movie came in at a mere, this is what we talked about from earlier. Remember, basically last actual broadcast, I believe the smallest amount that was coming in was $6 million. Well, basically Gravity brought in $12.8 million. So we're looking at summertime numbers here, which is very interesting for me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And of course, opening up over the weekend, coming at number 4, is a fantasy CGI flick called Freebirds. Exactly what it says.
Okay.
It's birds and CGI and his family stuff, blah, blah, blah. And that came in at $15.8 million. Not too bad.
Okay.
Not too bad. And of course, the old guy funny flick, opening up at number 3, called Las Vegas, with some very powerful actors from our generation, or maybe our parents' generation, perhaps.
Oh, very much so.
Morgan Freeman, the list goes on and on. Basically, that opened up over the weekend at number 3 at $16.3 million. And of course, dropping down for number 1 and number 2, Bad Grandpa. No, Bad Grandpa, it's kind of interesting because it brought in $20 million for number 2 spot. And last week, it was a lot less than that, which is very interesting. And of course, what do you think the number 1 movie is that opened over the weekend?
The number 1 movie from this weekend was Ender's Game.
That's right. And that brought in a mere $27 million.
$27 million.
You got it.
These numbers sound like it's just opening up the summer.
Yep, exactly. So it's very interesting because usually this time of the year, especially for November, it's usually the quiet time. You know what I mean? Where basically all the dramas come out and stuff like that. I'm like, nope. We got some movies going to kick you in the ass, and I'm so happy Gravity is falling down at rocket speed. Thank goodness, I hate that movie so bad. But however, the bottom line is a lot of people liked it. Obviously, the number one spot, I believe, for 2 to 3 weeks. So it's like, that's interesting. November, December. All right, that's kind of cool. No. But anyways, speaking of summertime movies, as we mentioned before, through our comic book segment, Thor opened up at $109 million internationally. And, of course, that movie's opening up this weekend as well. And also on top of that, we're very fortunate to get press passes to actually see it first, which is happening on Wednesday. I shouldn't be mentioning this because obviously 2.0 wants to go and he can, which is very, very poopy. We should talk to your boss. What do you think?
We'll work something out.
All right, groovy. But anyways, that's opening up this weekend, and we're going to be seeing it first here within the Kitchener area. So that'd be kind of absolutely, kind of groovy. Plus, on top of that, other films are opening up besides of Thor: The Dark World. We got what's it called here? We got Best Man Down, which is a comedy that's coming out this weekend as well.
Okay.
Plus, on top of it, something called The Book Thief, which is going to be very interesting. But, however, with those movies off the side, what do you think is going to do well over the weekend?
Thor is obviously going to take number one.
For sure. Do you think it's going to hit 200 million or 300 million?
I think it's probably only going to hit about 200 million.
Yeah, I'm picking up the 200 itself. But however, this would be very, very interesting because I think at the same time they got the ABC special that's coming out, which is called Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And on top of that, we already have this movie opening up at $109 million. And that's just basically being opened up across the pond. So basically that's still bringing money in. Plus on top of that, the North American opening as well. I think... I don't know. I'm going to say 2, but my gut's saying 3. So we'll see exactly what's right. The brain or the gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll definitely find that out.
Exactly. Plus, on top of all that, don't forget the Wilder Cinema for Animated Cinema. Look at the t-shirt. Fulfills the actual chest billboard nicely. It's also coming through. Basically, more information on that can be found at www.wfac.ca. So, there we go. That being said, let's take a bit of a break, and we'll come back for the last segment of the day. And my goodness, just looking at the time, we're doing fairly well, being half an hour late today. So, let's take a bit of a break, and let's play those 2 segments first, and then we'll bring some tunes in.
Yamato, 発進!
大切な人を失ったのはあなただけじゃないのよ。
俺はその思いを信じる。
早く行け、古代！生きて帰ってこい。ありがとう。さよなら。古代さん！波動砲発射！スペースバトルシップヤマト。
Goodwill Productions is basically a production of stories that might not ever get the chance to see the light of day, but we have the tools, we have the time, we have the people, we have the resources to help people find that voice. So really it's to do with the community. How can you enhance and help and inform? We really are a community tool. We recently made a project with a young chap called Brendan. His story really spoke to me because he wanted to tell a story that I hadn't been involved in a story like that before. I want to know other things, I want to learn, I want to be involved. I started filmmaking at the age of 16 but didn't really think about doing it as a profession until the age of 19. As a filmmaker, other filmmakers who influence me are people who talk about real stories, social realism, Bill Forsyth, Ken Loach. I'm a big fan of Gus Van Sant, films like Elephant, Jerry, his recent film Promised Land. But I want to tell stories that have more of a social dialogue, and it really informs me, then hopefully informs someone else who may watch the film. I want to learn, so when I see someone else's story, I want to get involved in that story and understand. It's not about massively entertaining people, it's about telling real stories, and that's what we do at Goodwill Productions.